Hello, everybody. Welcome to Module 5. Can you believe we're already halfway in the 10-part series? It's crazy. It's going by so fast. Anyway, this is really important. We're going to be talking about the psychology of weight loss. Weight loss is so much more than just physical. It's also a mental transformation, and there's a lot that goes on inside of our heads, right? So we're going to navigate through this and talk more about the psychology of weight loss. So let's face it, it's not always physical. We as humans go through so much and we face so many challenges, and sometimes it can be really hard to cope with those challenges. And I've been there. I've used food as a coping mechanism. And now I just choose to make healthier decisions and not overeat. Just being mindful of portions, right? So here's a couple of important terms related to weight loss psychology. There's something called cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, that a lot of mental health practitioners will use with their patients. So this is really important. It basically, you're changing the way you think, and by changing the way you think, you're changing the way you act. That's what it is at its core. In the context of weight loss, CBT helps you identify and challenge those pesky thoughts that lead to unhealthy behaviors, okay? We can talk more about this in the one-on-one sessions, but it is good to know just the basics of what cognitive behavioral therapy is. So we're changing our thoughts, in theory, changes the way we act, right? We're also going to discuss mindfulness. So mindfulness has it is really important. Like I just said, if I'm going through a stressful situation, okay, a piece of chocolate sounds great, but I'm going to be mindful of how much chocolate I consume. The serving size on the nutrition facts label says 3 pieces, so I'm just going to have 3 pieces, enjoy it, and move on. Because I worked so hard to get to where I'm at, I just set boundaries for myself, and I'm mindful of what I'm putting into my mouth, okay? So when you're being mindful, you're paying attention to how you feel, you're savoring each bite, and you're really listening to your body's hunger and fullness cues. So I know for me, I'm mindful of how my stomach feels when I eat, whereas before I would still eat even when I felt really full. I would overeat until I felt sick, whereas now I eat until I'm full, and then I tell myself it's okay to stop. That's being mindful of your consumption. Also, motivation and goal setting is super critical. We'll discuss this more in the check-ins module, but it's crucial that you write down your weight loss goal, especially in the SMART format. SMART is an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So this is a very specific goal, and during our one-on-one meeting, we're going to talk about that goal for you. But I do recommend that you write it down before our first one-on-one meeting. Your goal is your roadmap, and if you don't have a goal or a roadmap, how are you going to get there if you don't even know where you want to go, right? So we need to make sure that we're setting those goals. We're also going to have like mini goals every week, and we're going to talk more about that in the check-in. Digging deep. So a lot of times we might use food as an emotional crutch when we're not feeling good. It gives us comfort. It's really important that we address the root causes of these issues, and we make a game plan on what to do in times of wanting to use food as an emotional crutch. That's something that we're going to really talk more about in our one-on-one meetings, but I really want you to start thinking about those when you face difficulties, or maybe if you're bored and you use food as a way to ease your boredom. Maybe we can talk about other things that you can do instead of doing that. Maybe watching a show, maybe going on a walk, maybe talking on the phone to a friend, but finding other ways of coping with whatever it is we're coping with, like finding other things to do besides eating food, okay? If you're If this is beyond emotional eating and there's more mental health issues underlying, it might be in your best interest to seek therapy with a qualified professional, such as a counselor or a psychologist or psychiatrist. And I can give you some resources for that if you need that. You can also talk to your medical provider about some resources as well, okay? So let's talk about psychological strategies for successful weight loss. So number one being having a growth mindset. This means viewing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. Having a growth mindset is so important. We need to believe in ourselves that yes, we can do this, and it might be uncomfortable at first, but we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be okay. Okay. Also, visualization is a huge thing. Imagining yourself, literally seeing yourself at your goal weight is so important. It primes your brain for success. I know for me personally, when I very first started my weight loss journey a little over 2 years ago, I literally imagined how I would look like, and I look like that now. I would just see myself in my goal weight form, and it came true through hard work. But I vividly imagined myself. It really does. It can do some powerful things for you. Also, positive reinforcement. So celebrating your wins. I know for me, like after I go to the gym, I'll get like a protein smoothie, or I'll get my nails done, or I'll have like a little piece of dark chocolate or something that makes me happy. Don't be so hard on yourself. Celebrate the small wins. It's important. Also, lastly, building resilience and coping mechanisms for setbacks. This is super crucial. The weight loss journey is not always easy. We know that. So having strategies to bounce back from slip-ups can really make all the difference. Here's a nice little graphic on 5 tips to overcome psychological barriers to weight loss. So number 1, keeping a journal. So not only are we going to log your food, I do want you to have a journal, just journaling your feelings, what you're going throughout this 12-week journey. Really important to just write out your thoughts. We can talk more about that during your one-on-one too. Also, prioritizing sleep is super important. There's so much research that backs up a correlation between sleep and either like sleep deprivation and not losing as much weight versus sleeping really well and losing more weight. There's so much research on this, so sleep is so important. Please aim to get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. Your body you're just gonna feel so much better, and when you get adequate sleep, you're less likely to overeat. I know for me personally, when I don't get enough sleep, I'm super cranky and I just want to eat carbs like all day. There's actually research that shows that when you are sleep deprived, your hunger hormone such as ghrelin goes up, so your appetite goes up, so you're going to want to eat more. So let's prioritize sleep. Let's replace fat shaming with body positivity as well. And then also practice relaxation techniques. So maybe if you're feeling really stressed or really angry, instead of getting that donut, maybe you can go for a walk or talk to a friend on the phone. And then, of course, if you're just really down and out, you might need to seek medical help, maybe seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Okay? So let's review some key points in weight loss psychology. So remember, it's not just about changing your body, but transforming your mind, what's in here. It may be helpful to keep a journal to write down your feelings, especially when you get urges to use food as an emotional crutch, okay? A gratitude journal may be beneficial for you. For example, writing 3 things you're grateful for every day. If you don't want to write it down, you can even just put it in your phone. I know the iPhone has the notes, little like notes app. You can write it in your notes. Find ways to relax your mind and body, such as breathing techniques, meditation, maybe watching a funny movie or going on a walk or simply spending time with loved ones. I like going on long walks and talking to a friend on the phone. Really takes my mind off things, especially if I'm feeling negative energy at that time. And again, having a growth mindset is super important. And then writing down your goals as well, so that way we can create that roadmap for you.